Hi there. It's January 11th, and we are on day 11 of our Through the New Testament in 1 Year. I got both versions open today, the ESV and the 1599 Geneva Bible for its wonderful footnotes I put everywhere. Just 18 to 34. This will be a short read today. They're spreading it out, so it'll take a whole year, right? Okay. Now, this is after the Sermon on the Mount. He had gone, and remember yesterday he went to Peter's mother-in-law's house, and she was sick, and he made her better, and then she got up and made him dinner. And then he healed thousands of people. Okay. Now, when Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to go over to the other side. And a scribe came up to him and said, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus said to him, "Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Another of the disciples said to him, "Lord, let me first go and bury my father." Jesus said to him, "Follow me and leave the dead to bury their own dead." Following Jesus is the most important of anything. Drop everything and follow Jesus, right? Here's the famous part. And there was such a big crowd, he wanted to go to the other side of the lake, right? Take, a little elbow room. And when he got into the boat, the disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great storm on the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, but he was asleep. And they went and woke him, saying, "Jesus, Lord, we are perishing." And he said to them, "Why are you afraid, O you of little faith?" Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. And the men marveled, saying, "What sort of man is this that even the winds and sea obey him?" What sort of man indeed, right? Now, you'd think the fact that he was sleeping would have told them that there's nothing to worry about, but it's still new in the game, okay? Jesus heals two men with demons. And when he came to the other side, to the country of the Gadarenes, two demon-possessed men met him, coming out of the tomb so fierce that no one could pass that way. And behold, they cried out, "What have you to do with us, O Son of God?" They know, right? "Have you come here to torment us before the time?" See, they know the scriptures. They know what's going to happen to them, the demons do. Now a herd of many pigs was feeding at some distance from him, and the demons begged him, saying, "If thou cast us out, send us away to the herd of pigs." And he said to them, "Go." So they came out and went into the pigs, and behold, the whole herd rushed down a steep bank of the sea and drowned in the waters. The herdsmen fled, and going into the city, told everything, especially what had happened to the demon-possessed men. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their region. Okay, scared, right? So, yeah, Man of the Tombs. There's an excellent song, right, called "Man of the Tombs." You should look that up. One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life, okay? Done by Bob Bennett. And I even have a video playing that song and explaining this particular part of the verse on it in my YouTube under the God Singer Music one. If you want to look that up. Okay, now let's check the notes over here in our Geneva Bible from 1599. The notes, too, are from 1599. They wrote these in the margins of the original printing. Okay. Okay, when Jesus saw the great multitude, go over the water. Okay. Capernaum was situated upon the lake of Tiberias. So now we know. A certain scribe came, right? The true disciples of Christ must prepare themselves to all kinds of miseries. You get that? Foxes have holes, birds of the heaven have nests. Word for word, shades made with boughs or nests, right? Boughs is a small branch, right? After this, and another of the disciples said unto him, "Let me first bury my father. When God requireth our labor, we must leave off all our duty to men." And God comes first in everything. Entered into the ship. Although Christ seemeth oftentimes to neglect his, even in most extreme danger, yet in time convenient he assuageth all tempests and bringeth them to the haven. Right. Interesting. Huh? What notes do we have in here? Came to the other side of the country. Christ came to deliver me from the miserable thraldom of Satan, but the world had rather lack Christ than the vilest and least of their commodities. Right. They would rather not have Christ than give up any of their luxuries, right? See, now this says two men, this says two men. A lot of them say there was one man on the tombs, but and it goes into detail in the other gospels. He would actually chain him up, and he would break the chains, and nobody could control him, right? Like I said, that song is amazing. Huh? Can we read this one? Yeah, we did. Okay. There was afar off from him a great herd of swine. Off on a hill, as Mark and Luke witness, now Gardenia and Josephus record, Book 17, Chapter 13, lived after the order of the Grecians, and therefore we may not marvel if there were swine there, right? Now the Jews had nothing to do with pigs, or swine as they call it here, so they were unclean. We're just looking for notes here. They beseeched him to leave. Where men live as swine, there doth not Christ tarry, but devils. Wow. So, there you go. Like I say, these are short studies. When it gets more into some of the other gospels and the epistles and stuff, we will, spend more time on it, tearing them apart and looking at footnotes and references and stuff. But this is the story of Jesus. It's pretty straightforward, right? So there you go. That's day 11. And tomorrow with day 12. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. We can have a look ahead here. Half of chapter 9. Okay. More healing and stuff from Jesus, the whole story of his ministry. So there you go. That's day 11. Give us a like if you think about it. Catch up on any you may have missed. There's still time to start and catch up. They're short. These are short, usually under 10 minutes. So, but we're going to get the whole New Testament in this year. So, but there you have it. Till next time, see you again.